Hello everybody. This is Link here coming at you with I guess it's technically not a day 5 video anymore, but it's like day 7/day 8. But to me it's day 5. A day 5 update of my Trickster build. And I don't exactly remember where exactly I left off from the last video per se again. But I'm pretty sure I got one extra level. I went from like level 96 to 97. It's either that or I went from 95 to 97. But I've made couple of adjustments to my build, and um, let me see if I can remember all of them. And I'll talk about kind of where my progression is going towards right now. Um, so let's figure out what I did. So something I did was I upgraded to a level 20 to 21 Corrupting Fever finally. I've been leveling in my offhand Exsanguinates. I think I failed like 6 just now, trying to get that to a level 2120. So these are just 2020s right now. I think my current one is also, well, my current one is just a 21, but I just want the 20% because that'll give me some uptime for my damage. I changed my rings, and the biggest change I think I did was fitting in malevolence now. So currently I have corrupting fever, and then I'm able to cast malevolence for a grand total mana cost of 101. And so that's letting me fit in another 50% aura. So I have Grace running, Determination, Pride with War Banner, and then I'm manually casting Malevolence with Divine Blessing to get the fifth aura. So pretty big DPS boost when it comes to bossing. And not only that, since Malevolence gives you more uptime skill effect duration, that means like your Corrupting Fever is lasting longer, your Exsanguinate Reap dot is lasting longer, your Molten Shell is lasting longer as well, and same with like your Arcane Surge. So and also your Adrenaline. So there's a lot of like benefits from this skill effect duration that's happening behind the scenes from Malevolence. And hopefully I can get a Watcher's Eye soon with Malevolence to replace this, so I can just get more damage. But that's in the future. So in order to fit in Malevolence plus Divine Blessing, I've been farming for these two specific alternate quality gems. So in this case, it's Divergent Inspiration Support. So the alternate quality bonus gives you supported skills have 10% reduced mana cost. So originally, I think the mana cost is 536, right? So we add in Divergent Inspiration Support, which brings it down to 247. And then Anomalous Increased Duration Support, you can see that supported skills have 20% reduced mana cost. The downside is that you have 10% reduced skill effect duration, but that's not too big of a deal because going from 247 mana to 101 mana means that we're now able to cast Malevolence for free, or not for free, but basically for free, right? Um, and some other things that help me fit that in are these two rings. These two rings with the prefixes 5% reduced mana cost of skills, and that gives me another grand total of 10% reduced mana cost. Pair that up with Tireless, which gives you, I think, 6, 9, 15, 15% reduced cost of skills, and we get enough mana reduction to basically fit this RN. Eventually, I want to bring this down to like almost like 0 mana cost, but I'm not sure if that is possible. I might need to like fit in some jewels, and I might need to replace this amulet with a prefix that can fit that in. But the goal is to get a the goal is to get a 6 RN. So something like Herald of Purity or like Flesh and Stone and or like Summon Scared Bots. But we'll see how um, if that is possible. There's a couple of things that I have planned in order to do that. So the first one is this helmet. So this helmet compared to this helmet, it looks pretty much the exact same. The only difference is that I have the Essence of Loathing mod, so increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. Finally finished creating this. The only thing I'm missing right now is the Eater of Worlds implicits. So I want to get more mana reservation so I can get up to like 17 or 18% increased mana reservation. So that'll give me a lot of mana to work with as well. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of working towards that right now. I might need another Enlighten 4 or Enlighten in order to fit in my other auras. but I also definitely need to get this to an Enlightened 4, and that should definitely help out a lot with that. Um, but yeah. The other thing I'm working on is trying to get ailment immunity into this build. So I made these boots. These were eye level 70, so my resistances that I can roll on the suffixes weren't exactly the greatest. But I basically crafted this using essences of loadings, and I just spammed until I hit Chaos Res. Then I actually exalted the Fire Res on, and it's kind of like, it's very mediocre, I'd say, but it should be good enough for the beginning, and I'll probably recraft these boots later on in the future. Currently, I'm working on trying to get the Eater of Worlds implicits to get 30% um, avoid ailments, but it's gonna take some time because I gotta farm a couple. And you can see that these two pieces of gear need the Eldritch currencies, but I've had no luck in terms of dropping them. But oh well, I'll get it eventually. You know, that's something I'll eventually hit. It'll just take some time. So basically, I'm gonna get 34% from the suffix over here, and then another 30% from the implicit. So that's gonna leave me with, I think, like 64% or something like that. And then this will give me 36% the grand spectrum once I get 3 of these in. the So my plan is to run 3 grand spectrums, and I'm going to run the frenzy charge one, the endurance charge one, and then the avoid elements one. So I'll get 3 frenzy charges and 3 endurance charges, and then 36% elemental ailment avoidance, which will be pretty big. So I'll be running basically a grand spectrum in here, grand spectrum in here, and then I need to fit in another one. So I might grab this jewel socket, and then eventually this jewel socket is going to be a natural instinct too, right? So this build is going to require a lot of jewel sockets. So definitely need some levels in order to fit those in, because the jewel socket over here is going to be reserved for Watcher's Eye, and then this one over here for Glorious Vanity. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out where my points are all gonna go, but I think I can drop like entropy and stuff, and probably some like life nodes, and eventually, you know, when I hit 98, 9900, that's another 3 extra points, so that'll allow me to fit these 3 points in. But basically, this route means that I don't think I'm gonna go Swift Killer anymore, because I'm just gonna have and use the Grand Spectrums, and that way. You know, my I'll still be able to use one step ahead, and it'll feel pretty good, I think. Um, yeah, one thing I was thinking about doing was also using Soul Drinker instead of this, or even using Heartstopper just to have like more tankiness. But we'll see how it goes, cause I need to play around with whatever I hit on the Searing Exarch. Because if I hit like 6% action speed, then you know, like I'm not really losing like too much from this. But and also I'm not sure how the interaction between getting increased action speed on top of this is, because I assume this means that you have 108%, and if you have 6% increased action speed, then are you at 114%, or is it like some diminishing returns from stacking action speed? So that's something I need to test out and see how it feels, because you know, if it is like stacking like additively and it actually feels insanely good additively, then you know, I might just keep this, and yeah. But you know what, one downside of getting ailment avoidance is that, you know, I no longer am using this to have freeze immunity and chill immunity. So it's like I'm not like getting the full value from it, right? Whereas like this one, I get like overleach and some nice this helps with like degens as well, for the most part. But it's not like 2% damage. It's like insanely good leech. But something like Heartstopper can be huge when it comes to just like surviving, right? So that's something I gotta play around with. But that's like not really a like priority. Like that'll happen over time. So that's kind of my upgrade points right now. I'm trying to find or buy the last Grand Spectrum, the Endurance Charge one, but I think that's gonna be like another like 5 or 6 exalts. And I also need to buy an Unnatural Instinct, which is also 8 exalts. To kind of give you guys a checklist of what I'm working towards. So I talked about basically these, and then I need to empower 3 or 4 so that I can replace empower in my gloves, and then also drop reap so that I only need to run 1 extra skill, and I no longer have to use unleash. But I don't think the empowers are gonna happen anytime soon because ideally I want to run empower when I have a +1 to Sakura strength skill gems chest. But I've been trying to craft this chest, and I just haven't been able to 6-link anything. I'm level 97 and I've literally dumped all my fusings I've gotten like over and over again, and I've honestly lost count. But I found a lot of fusings for the most part, and no luck so far, and that's kind of like holding me back because like if I don't have a 6-link, then there's no point in me trying to craft this chest because there's no point in me, if I have a crafted chest and no 6-link, then I can't use it, right? Um, but what I'm planning on doing is like for each 3-talking or coloring this to make it white. I need to hit 6-link, so I'm gonna farm Leos from Betrayal, because I think they give like 50 per bench, which is pretty nice. And then once I 6-link this, I'm gonna use Facetious Fossils to try to hit +1 socket strength, and then go from there. So we'll see how that goes. It's kind of interesting because the original plan to get ailment immunity was to get 35% from here. So that could still be an option if I hit the unveil on the prefix, but um, if I don't need 35% from here, I might just like opt to get like increase evasion and energy shield, and then get the flat hybrid as well, and that'll give me like so much like survivability, right? It's gonna be a lot of ES, but trying to craft that on top of the +1 socket strength, um, with like Faceta fossils, it's gonna be quite hard. But we'll see how it goes. This might just be like my second chest before like the min max chest, and that's probably what's gonna happen, most likely. Because like one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to get a fracture temple mod chest, but there's been none on the market, and this chest here was like almost there, but I think I like missed my ashling on this, so I had to recraft this. But yep. Um, and then after that, I need to get my other woke gems. So at this point, a lot of my gear is just kind of gated by currency. I just need to buy like 2 jewels and power, like how many woke gems? Like I need to buy awaken control destruction, awaken brutality, awaken chain, awaken swift affliction times 2, awaken brutality times 2, and then 2 empowers. So a lot of it is like gems and jewels at this point. And I think like it's gonna be around like probably like 50 or 60x, I think, for all my gems and jewels. But once I get them all, it's gonna be like a huge damage boost because I think a natural instinct is like what, like 15% more damage, and then frenzy is 9% more damage, and powers are like 10, 15% each more damage, and then all the woke gems like combined is gonna be probably like 20, 25, 20 to 25% more damage once you add them all up and they're all leveled. Um, so a lot of damage I'm still missing and a lot of potential. But once I get those going, I should be good. I should be very strong. Like I already feel pretty strong, and like I'm almost at that point where like I'm like ready to boss and be able to do everything. But yeah, we'll see. We're almost there. One other thing I wanted to talk about was my right ring. Oh yeah, I guess like to give you guys context on how I crafted this one, I think I had crafted life on this one, and I just locked suffixes, and I just used a veil chaos orb, and then I blocked mana and then picked the flat life. For this one, uh, for this ring, I basically used all my essences and my fossils until I hit nothing, and then I scour out until I hit this. And this ring was like almost really insane, but the issue is that I have the mana gained on kill, which is a completely dead mod. So I'll probably end up recrafting this ring. But ideally, I want to make this a Warlord's Vermilion ring with one on hit. But yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna get that because trying to craft a ring like that is very hard, and um, I think I can just probably like settle on like, like 60 life on the prefix. So what I could do is I could craft the suffixes first on a Warlord's Vermilion ring, and then get 3 good suffixes, and then work on the prefixes afterwards. But we'll see how that goes. Cause like I have a lot of like jewels I need to find. A lot of gems, and then trying to get Voln on hit is like it's gonna be a lot of work. And not only that, it's gonna require a lot of metacrafting. So, and I don't have any issues like self-casting vulnerability right now, but it's it'll be good to have because it'll help my clear out for the most part. Because like right now I'm running around and then I'm self-casting vulnerability and then like reap and stuff, right? Whereas like eventually my playstyle is just gonna be just like straight up just pure exsanguinate. So that's gonna make my like mapping feel a lot smoother and just nicer in general. And then lastly, my belt is gonna be endued. Um, it's gonna need an upgrade soon because I do have one dead suffix, which is 11 strength. But it's really hard to kind of replace this belt because this belt is actually really good. It has like 324 armor, T1 life. The T1 reduced flash charges means that I can run like silver flask like twice, and all my other flasks a good number of times too. So, um, but later on I probably don't need it. I can just run a double life belt, and then eventually I'll want like Ashling veiled hybrid chaos or mods on the suffixes, so I'm getting a lot of resistances from there. Um, but that being said though, like once I get the grand spectrums in, like having 3 minimum endurance charges means that I'm getting quite a bit of all res from there too, right? So I need to make money. That's kind of where I'm at. Um, let's see. Last thing I want to talk about is my Atlas strategy in terms of how that's changed. Basically, I've went into Wandering Path. I got kind of sick of like not being able to sustain maps, and I wanted to like just brain dead run maps again. And in this case, I opted to go for the Wandering Path strat. And what you do is basically grab all these connected adjacent map drop chances with the duplicate drops, and like just to make just as a precaution, this Atlas tree is by nowhere means like min maxed, because like I have all these dead nodes, right? I have like these nodes that are doing literally nothing up here. I have all these nodes that are literally doing nothing right here, and the only purpose of this tree is to just drop maps that you run adjacent to each other. And in this case, I also paired it up with shadow shaping, and the maps I'm running right now are Atoll and Mud Geyser. So these two, and then my shadow shaping, I'm blocking all the maps that are around it. So I'm blocking Spider Forest, Dry Sea, um, Chateau, Crimson Township, Defiled Cathedral, Cells, etc. And then what that means is that when I run Atoll and Mud Geyser, I'm basically just going to only be. I'll have a significantly high chance of dropping the adjacent map, and by this way I can just like infinitely sustain maps. And you can see like I've just been running all my atolls, and now I have like 33 mud geysers. And then when I run all my mud geysers, I have a chance to duplicate the atoll maps, which means that I can, hopefully eventually end up with like probably like 66, and then eventually it's gonna be like 122, and then it's just gonna double, right? So so on and so forth. But I'm gonna be running this Alice tree for probably like a day, maybe two, so I can build up my map pool, and then I'm gonna unspec out of Wandering Path and then go back into my bossing setup. So I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna blast through all those maps to drop like T16 Guardian maps, my Elder maps, my Conqueror maps, and then so that's gonna be my day three. So like day one and day two is building out the map pool. Day three is farming and blasting all those maps to drop all the boss maps, and day four is going to be running all those Maven maps. All those Guardian maps. Those um, four ways, etc. And then that should be how I make a ton of money this league, assuming I just don't die. So I guess watch out for that. Hopefully 2, 3, 4 days from now, I'll be bossing if I'm playing the game a lot more. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm basically usually my characters in Trade League, usually my level 1 through 97 is always like kind of like gearing up, and then level 98 is around when I start uh, blasting bosses. So similar timeline that this character is following, and yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a pretty long video, but I know I had a lot more to talk about. Uh, there's been a couple of changes to this build, but I hope you guys are enjoying the progress and following along. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, like and subscribe, comment. I'll try to get around to it, and hopefully I will keep posting. I'll post my next progression update when I can, and as soon as I have anything meaningful to say about it. All right, take care. Take care, guys. Bye.